hoping to change the world, even if it means a full-blown holy war. A special report, The War Within, when 360 continues. As we've been reporting, 9 men were arrested in England today for allegedly planning to kidnap and behead a British Muslim soldier and videotape it all. The suspected plot has put the spotlight back on the most radical corners of England's Muslim community. CNN's chief international correspondent Christian Amanpour has been looking into the larger story. Her work with the CNN Special Investigations Unit is highlighted in the documentary The War Within. Take a look.
It's been dubbed Londonistan, the hidden world of London's homegrown Islamic extremists. They are a tiny minority of Britain's 1.6 million Muslims, but they have no trouble getting their voices heard.
One day you will conquer Rome. One day you will conquer the White House.
Anjem Choudhury is the public face of Islamic extremism in Britain. His group, Al-Muwajirun, disbanded before the British government could outlaw it under its new anti-terrorism rules. But that hasn't shut Choudhury up.
Whoever insults Islam or insults the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam deserves capital punishment.
That was Choudhury's inflammatory rhetoric just days after Pope Benedict's controversial speech about Islam.
Pope Benedict, you will pay! Pope Benedict, you will pay! The Mujahideen are on their way! The Mujahideen are on their way!
Outside Westminster Cathedral, British Catholics looked on in disbelief.
They can stand outside our church and abuse us, and abuse our religion and abuse people that we hold dear with absolute impunity.
So the simple question to the Christians is, do you condemn what the Pope said?
Well, I don't condemn.
Do you condemn the Pope?
What he said?
Yes or no? So you don't. Do you condemn the Pope?
If any of us was to amble up to, you know, the mosque at Regent's Park and sending regards to Allah or Muhammad or what have you, best case scenario, taken away by the police for inciting racial hatred. Worst case scenario, attacked by a bunch of thugs wearing tea towels on their heads.
Democracy, hypocrisy! Democracy, hypocrisy!
Even away from the bully pulpit, Choudhury, who is a lawyer, not a cleric, continues to advocate extremist views, like calling for Sharia, Islamic law, for Britain.
All of the world belongs to Allah, and we will live according to the Sharia wherever we are. This is a fundamental belief of the Muslims. You know, if I was to go to the jungle tomorrow, I'm not going to live like the animals.
Basically, a lot of what you're saying is, it's my way or the highway. I mean, how does that kind of logic fit into a democratic state like the one we live in now and like the one you live in? You live here by choice. Do you not believe in democracy?
No, I don't at all. We believe that people must live according to the Sharia.
That would mean in a country such as Britain, people would have their hands cut off for robbery, would be stoned for what you call adultery, hanged. You can see that happening.
One day the Sharia will be implemented in Britain. It's a matter of time. Whether it comes through our peaceful discussion and debate, whether it comes because the Mujahideen will send an army one day, Allah knows.
An Islamic army coming to lay down the law in Britain? What do people think in Walthamstow, one of London's biggest Muslim neighbourhoods?
Lovely, animal, poundable.
Ishmael, would you like to see Sharia law in England?
Sharia, what's that?
Islamic law?
Nah.
No.
Nah, I'm Muslim myself, but like for someone to tell me that's the law of the whole country, the whole land, I think it's wrong. This is a free land. Everyone's entitled to what they want to do, you know what I mean? It's not Taliban here.
It's not the Taliban
Yeah, it's
here.
not the Taliban out here, you know what I mean?
But you wouldn't know it at this traditional Muslim wedding that Choudhury has come to officiate.
In the West, they want to say equality between all people, between men and women. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us different. And surely He has given man authority over the woman. He has given him qawama because he provides food, clothing and shelter.
We never saw the bride or the female wedding guests. They were segregated in different halls. But we were invited to witness the nikah, the dowry agreement between the groom and his father-in-law.
Ya Allah, please accept this nikah to have been conducted in accordance with the Sharia.
And even at this wedding, Chowdhury preaches holy war.
Ya Allah, please bless them with pious children. They will continue the jihad to liberate our land. Ya Allah, please support all the mujahideen wherever they are in the world. في العراق, في شيشان, في فلسطين, في الكشمير, في الجزيرة العرب, في الفلوجة, في الدارفور.
But how about those who carried out the London subway attacks on July 7th, 2005? Chowdhury gives an ominous answer.
I'm not planning to blow myself up on the underground or carry out a martyrdom operation in Britain. However, those people who maybe will be doing what Muhammad Sadiq Khan and Shahzad Tanvir and others did, probably because of the same reasons which they included in their will. So I think you really need to look at that.
This is the videotape will of one of the subway suicide bombers, Mohammed Sadiq Khan.
Until we feel security, you will be our targets. And until you stop the bombing, gassing, imprisonment and torture of my people, we will not stop this fight. We are at war and I'm a soldier. Now you too will taste the reality of this situation.
Those reasons that they included in their will, are those reasons justified in your view or in your view of Islam?
I think we have everything we need in those wills.
Where in the Quran does it justify the killing of innocents?
I'd like to get on to another question because I've answered that question already.
Have you, in the Quran?
In the video of Muhammad Sadiq Khan, he quotes the verse in the Quran, which is chapter Tawbah, verse 111, where Allah says, He has purchased from the believers their life, they will kill others and be killed.
Muslims all over the world, I strongly advise you to sacrifice this life for the hereafter.
There are mullahs, imams today who say that the suicide bombers have really done a lot of damage to the reputation of Islam. They're saying that the kinds of things that you are saying is in fact damaging the religion so much.
I mean, you're obviously just making a statement here. There's no real question there. The fact is, people don't refer to you for Islam. They refer to people like Sheikh Abu Bakr Muhammad, people like Sheikh Ayman al-Zawahiri, people like Sheikh Osama bin Laden. I happen to be in an ideological and political war. My brothers in Al-Qaeda and other mujahideen are involved in a military campaign.
You call them your brothers. Do you mean that?
Of course. Every Muslim in the world is my brother.
Well, just ahead, some of the Muslims who may be most open to his message and his mission. They're young, going nowhere, and looking for a cause. They say blowing up people is cool. That's right, cool. More from Christian's investigation next on 360.
One of those fanatics was in the room, waiting to pounce.
When they come to your own houses, when your house is raided, or your sister's raided, you'll be just as irate as I am.
Omar Brooks, a self-styled religious leader of an extremist group that is now banned.
I'm not going to fall for extremist rubbish.
Now he's went in there and he's shouted and he's hollered at everybody, and everybody thinking, yes, this guy's went against the system.
Come on. I'm outside. Where's your freedom of speech now? Over there.
They're considered to be heroes, for the younger guys. Yes, get in there, He's telling them how it is.
You should not come to a Muslim area. We don't want to see John Reed. We don't want to see Tony Blair or any of your cronies.
It's very easy for them guys to then come back into the community and have a lot of supporters.
These people, many of them self-appointed clerics, are dominating the national debate and certainly the debate within Islam right now. They are the loudest voices. How is that possible?
Because our scholars who have educated themselves, you can be Muslim and you can be British, Like you can be Christian and you can be British. You can be Jewish and you can be British. If the British-born Muslims really want to do something to stop people damaging Islam, then start reading up on your book. Explain it to your children. Come out your denial phase. The only conspirators against us.
A conspiracy to blow up a dozen US-bound airliners with liquid explosives. This set...
I think people would be really stunned to hear you say that it is essentially foreign policy which is causing youngsters to blow themselves up on the subway system and youngsters to think that that's cool.
Foreign policy has a lot to do with it, but it's the minority radical groups that use that to get to our young people.
And some of those young Muslims are easy prey. because they believe the British government crackdown is scapegoating them.